Greetings. My name is Drew, and today I'm going to be presenting for the third GUP. Red is the color that represents the third GUP, and it represents the sun having energy and brilliance. Now, reviewing for the fourth GUP, one of the things we went over was the pierce hand strike. And if they grab your wrist, to turn it, put it in your back as you come over, and hammer strike to the face. The next thing we went over was having to do with the form that we learned in the fourth GUP. And it was a kick, hop, backhand to the face. The next thing we learned was in our drill, and it had to do with our form as well. It was a high block to a side kick, elbow to the face. Doing that to the other side, it was a high block to a side kick and elbow to the face. We were also told to work on some combo kicks in this last GUP. And so from the stance, front kick, roundhouse. From the front stance, front kick, roundhouse, front kick. Side kick, front kick. So there's many different combos that we can do. One of the one-steps we learned in this last GUP was from the front stance, he shuffle kicked, caught him off guard, blocked, and then backhand to the face. Alright, so one of the inventive one-steps I came up with for the last GUP was if you're fighting a big guy, you come in here with the double block, and then you grab the wrist, just like you showed us in the self-defense, but you're going to come across, backhand, elbow to the gut, and then you come under the arm and you throw him. Now from there I can hold on to this wrist and punch him in the face, but like you've said many times, we want to end the fight, we want to be able to come home to our families, and so that's what that move was meant to do. Now, a couple of the self-defense moves that you taught us was, one of them is if someone grabs your hair, that we would double hand on their hand, we would bring it down low, so it's bending their wrist, bring it down low, and when they let go, we kick them in the face. And so the next one that you showed us was, again, if we're fighting a big guy, we double block, grab that wrist, step in, grab their shirt, and then we throw them over the side there. So those were some of the moves we learned in the last GUP. Alright, now some of the moves we learned in this GUP were to block, hammer block, but with a support. So if we're hammer blocking, that we would support that there. If we go to the other side, that we support that block right there. Another move that we learned was the X block there. Now he showed it at times where he had the fists and other times where he had his hands open. But whatever the case, this is the X block. He also showed us the double block and knee to the stomach. So X, double block, knee to the stomach. Alright, the form we learned in this GUP is called Taeguk Yuk Chong, and that means water. I'm going to demonstrate that for you now. Alright, so now for the kicks. In the last GUP we learned the switch kick. So from a front stance we would switch our feet and kick out. In this GUP we learned the shuffle kick. And from a front stance we're going to bring our back leg up and it's going to kick our front leg up. So that's the shuffle kick. We learned a front jump kick. So from here it's just a jump kick. If we are in this defensive position, saying I don't want any trouble, and they're coming after us anyway, and we want a jump kick, we can do it there. Our instructor taught us. Also, we can do a side kick, which is a lot like the shuffle kick. Also, we can do a roundhouse kick. So from a front stance, a roundhouse kick. He also taught us how to do a fake front kick to a roundhouse kick. So that's a right there. And the last kick was a spinning side kick. So he wanted us to stay straight. The front foot pivots, back foot kicks, spinning side kick from the other way, front foot pivots, back foot kicks. So those are the kicks. Alright, the drill we learned in this GUP had to do with the form we did, and it is the hammer block, punch, kick, punch. Hammer block, punch, kick, punch. For one steps, we learned a couple different techniques. The first one was to anticipate they're coming after us, and if instead of letting them punch first and us avoid and block, then counter, we just straight up go in and hit them first. And so this first one is a spinning kick to the front kick, or the spinning side kick to the front kick. So we're in the front stance, and that's the first one. The second one was from a front stance. We're crescent kicking, stepping in, backhanding, and then elbow to the face. So crescent kick block, and that's the second one. The third one is we're crescent kick blocking, spin kicking, or spin side kicking, and front kicking. So from the front stance, and that's the third one step that we learned. A couple inventive one steps, coming from the same mentality of not letting them hit first, but instead they're coming after us, or after me, and I engage them first. And so in this one I'm going to fake front kick to a jumping roundhouse, and then to a spinning side kick. So and that's the first inventive one step. The second one, someone's coming from this side, they're punching me with their right hand in my face. I avoid, block with my inside to outside. Then I'm going to grab their wrist, punch them in the ribs, step in, elbow them in the face, come around their arm, key lock, bring it in, and then bring them down. And from there I feel a lot better, and I can actually dislocate their shoulder from there with that lock. So again, it's here, and and we would be down on the ground, and I could go from there. So that is the 1 steps for this GUP. All right, so now for the self-defense portion. This was a favorite portion for this GUP for me. I'm really interested in using weapons and defending weapons, especially a knife, because it's practical. Everyone has a knife. Just to learn to use it just seems smart to me. So our instructor told us that in a knife fight that we're going to get cut. It's just going to be the way that it is, and we just have to accept that. One of the things that our instructor mentioned was that a knife is an extension of a person's arm, and so if their arm is this long and the knife is just that much longer, that's pretty much how we gauge the distance we need to be from them, because we don't want them to be close enough to be able to stab us. And so we want to give distance in a knife fight, and make sure we're using the things that are longer than his stabbing arm. So like our legs, and also we want to end the fight as soon as possible. Our instructor also told us that there are 3 types of knife fighters, and we'd be able to tell how much experience they have by the way they use the knife. The most inexperienced will stab at you like this with their front arm. The second or intermediate knife fighters will have the knife in their back hand, and they'll be able to grab at you with their front hand and stab with their back hand. And the most experienced knife fighters, as he put it, will have the knife hidden pretty much, so you won't even know they have a knife until they're on you, and then they're slashing and stabbing and doing different things. But an effective way to defend a knife is with the back of our forearms and the back of our hands. Definitely that we wouldn't let them cut here or in our hands, but that we'd be able to stay in the fight and be able to block here, be able to defend here. And golden rule of the knife fight is that we would just end it as soon as possible. Hurt that person to where they're out of the fight. Take out a knee, a groin, a sternum, a jaw, a nose, a throat, so that they are done and we get to go home and actually see our family again. So it's not after 20 moves, it's end it now. And so this is what I learned in this GUP. That concludes my presentation. Thank you for your time.